Kate pretends she's her best friend and pastry chef, Susan, for a course at a Belgian culinary school. As she gets close to the chocolatier leading the course, Matthias, she regrets posing as someone else. Kate, who is a photographer, snaps pictures of macarons for Susan. It's on her new featured Christmas menu that year. Kate refuses to take money from her, so Susan offers some of her latest batch of macarons. Kate loves the chocolate, which has been imported from Belgium. Susan has done a lot of research, and she wants to mill and prepare her chocolate like they do in Belgium. She's not a chocolatier, because that wasn't her favorite subject. Kate was in pastry school with her, and neither of them understood how to work the mold. Kate almost failed pastry school because of it, but Susan still remembers the pralines she made. Kate knows they were good, only because they didn't involve chocolate or pastry. Kate has made pralines with her mom and grandma since she was little and wanted to go to pastry school because of that. Susan admits she was never good at dealing with chocolate either. This is why she is enrolled in a one-on-one experiential intensive program in Belgium over the holidays. Kate offers to photograph whatever Susan learns. Even Susan admits her website traffic doubled since she used Kate's photos. Susan turns up late at Kate's place because the holiday rush is too intense. Kate is inspired by their shoot and is trying to make dessert from scratch. She hasn't done it in years and misses the kitchen. Susan goes through the photos Kate snapped and feels they are perfect. Susan admits she underestimated the Christmas rush. Michelle is handling the situation, but she can't leave the store understaffed this holiday season. She offers Kate a chance to go to school again instead of her. Susan can't attend the program in Belgium, and it's non-refundable. Susan explains it's the storefront in school where all great chocolatiers have learned the art. The man who runs it, Matthias, is American. So, Susan feels that will help Kate. He only does this Christmas chocolate program once a year, and Susan can't wait another year to take it. Kate admits she has dreamt about going to Brussels around the holidays. Her parents are also off on a Christmas cruise, so she is free for it. Susan provides clarity, stating that the school tickets can't be transferred, so Kate will have to pretend to be her. Since they only want professionals, Kate is afraid they will find out who she is and ban them. Susan is not worried because Kate has known her for years. It means a lot for Susan's shop, so Kate agrees to do this for her. Kate arrives in Brussels and feels hassled about getting late for the chocolate class. Matthias wonders if she's Susan, but she asks him to call her Kate. Great, first slip up. Kate clarifies that Susan's middle name is Catherine, so she prefers to go by Kate. He lets her in and asks Ingrid at the desk to help Kate with her coat. Ingrid has also helped Matthias's grandfather with this shop when he inherited it from his father. Matthias asks Kate to hurry for the lesson and introduces himself as the owner. He explains that their store has been in Brussels since the time chocolate started being made the Belgian way. He decides to start easy with chocolate peppermint bark and mix the candy cane later. He feels Kate will understand as a professional that tempering chocolate is not for beginners. He gives her a few instructions, but Kate finds it hard to take notes on the laptop. Matthias reminds her that these lessons are experiential and more about understanding chocolate and becoming one with it. He insists this is not a regular school, and he would prefer if he had her whole attention. She still asks for his permission to record the lesson, which he's fine with. He asks her to snap the chocolate and inform him if she can taste some flavors. Kate is clueless, but she pretends she can taste everything he mentions. He asks her to use flavors freely and start stirring. Kate wonders why they can't use a microwave. Matthias feels it's better to understand the elements first before trying out the new methods. He helps her with the stirring and asks her to pour the chocolate into the marble slab. He gives her specific instructions, but she seems to be doing it all wrong. Kate is impressed with what she made, but Matthias looks doubtful. Matthew admits he doesn't think this class is right for her. She seems like a beginner, even when this is a course for the intermediate chocolatiers. Kate begs him for another chance, so she can prove she is up for it. She hasn't done anything in a long time and hopes he can still teach her. Matthias agrees to help her out with more experiential stuff the next day. He invites her for a lunch tasting, while Ingrid runs the shop. Kate heads back to her hotel and rants to Susan about how she almost got caught. Kate has forgotten how finicky chocolate can be, and is sure Matthias doubts her. Susan is sure her next class will be better. Kate still doesn't know if she can pretend to be an award-winning pastry chef. Susan asks her to give it one more day and is curious about Matthias. Kate admits he's very particular, so it might be tough to convince him. She's not wrong there. Susan is sure all the chocolate tastings the next day will give her some perspective. Kate assures Susan she will do everything so she doesn't get kicked out of this program for her. Matthias and Ingrid discuss finances and know it'll be tough to keep the shop open. Matthias is determined to run it just like his grandfather wanted, even if it means he won't get a Christmas that year. Ingrid hopes he can figure something out. Kate is proud that she's on time and didn't get lost once. Matthias likes her enthusiasm and takes her out. Matthias admits he lost his parents years ago and has been in Belgium for 3 years. Kate keeps taking pictures and wonders why they're headed to his competitors' shops. Matthias explains that his grandfather refused to commodify chocolate. He wanted to share the skill of making it with the world. Peter is glad to see Matthias, since they have been friends for a long time. Peter introduces Kate to his business partner, Annette, who welcomes them to the store. She has already set up their tasting at the back, and Peter guides them. Peter explains how their store sells hot chocolate the traditional way, in copper pots. He has shared 3 flavors with them and compares the taste to what Kate is used to in America. Kate wonders where the whipped cream is, but Matthias makes Peter leave before he can hear that. He asks Kate to take big sniffs of the hot chocolate to prepare her palate. Kate feels that's the best hot chocolate she has ever had, since it's complex. He makes fun of her for being a complex pastry chef who knows nothing about chocolate. That is funny. She is grateful to Matthias for helping her out, because she knows setting up this tasting wasn't easy. Matthias goes way back with Peter and can tell Kate has a passion for learning new things. He used to have the same passion. Kate is happy to be there, even if she has a lot to learn. He quizzes her about the percentage of dark chocolate that has been used in the cocoa. She doesn't believe anyone can guess that. He decides to prove it and confirms his assessment with Peter. He jokes about tweaking his recipe if it's so easy to guess. Matthias claims all this comes easy when you grow up around chocolate. He asks her to try the salted butterscotch, and she can tell they've used brown sugar to bring out the flavor. She suggests something to improve it, which impresses him. Kate admits she knows sugars and salts much better than chocolate. Matthias is just impressed that she's able to keep her shop covered even during the holiday rush. He also feels it's important to be in Belgium to learn how to make chocolate the right way. Kate is happy that she chose to come for the course. The last pot is a mix of many flavors, which tastes like how Christmas morning feels to Kate. She loves how warm and exciting the flavor is, so Matthias teases her about already getting better than him. Peter reminds him of the time, so Matthias remembers they have dozens of other chocolate shops to go to. Matthias takes her along, and they have a lot of fun tasting different kinds of chocolate. They bump into Jean-Luc, who feels Matthias's grandfather will be proud that he has taken over the school. He offers to let Matthias teach at his shop since he knows business isn't doing well. Matthias rejects the offer, and Kate also follows him. Matthias admits that his school is not that popular anymore. They still get regular customers from the time his grandfather ran the place. But now, they are having trouble reaching new customers and tourists, which is very important for Christmas. He wonders how she keeps her successful shop going in a place like New York. Kate gets a little hesitant but explains that Susan's patisserie is still new. She knows they are always looking to expand, which is why she's learning about Christmas chocolate. Kate suggests expansion, but Matthias feels that's only possible with a store that has been built with her vision. He inherited it with his grandfather's name, and he can't destroy his reputation. Kate feels expansion is important either way if he wants to thrive. She suggests figuring out his own voice to do it. Kate begs Susan to let her tell Matthias who she is. He is so nice to her, and she feels bad when he asks for advice. Susan also needs all the tips Kate has been giving her, and asks her to hold out longer. Kate drops by his shop to talk, and Ingrid decides to give them space. She has heard about their interesting afternoon, and feels like Matthias enjoyed it with her. Kate reminds Matthias that he said chocolate is all about being inspired. She feels they need to go back to the basics and understand what made him stay in Belgium. She knows he could have sold the store to a major chain, but he decided to stick around. Matthias admits growing up around chocolate in Brussels made him want to come back. It's only when he started staying there full-time that he realized what Belgian chocolate means at Christmas. It's all about beauty, quality, and the spirit of not giving up for him. He compares it to the Brussels main square, which has survived centuries of changes. It's still beautiful when the whole city comes out to meet at the Christmas market. His grandfather took him every year, and he loved seeing the city come alive under the Christmas lights. Matthias hasn't celebrated the holiday the same way after he passed. She understands that he feels sad during this time, but suggests he should stop by the market with her. Matthias tries to make an excuse, but realizes he wouldn't mind it. He loves how special the market looks, and thanks Kate for bringing him there. He informs her that French fries were also invented in Belgium, and are practically a national snack. Kate admits she's getting used to having the fries with mayonnaise. Matthias is glad and determined to make a Belgian out of her. Kate suggests going on the Ferris wheel since it's the best spot to see the Christmas lights. Matthew hasn't been since his grandfather took him, but he agrees. He thanks her for reminding him what Christmas feels like. She asks him to pick their next activity, so he chooses a Christmas dessert. Kate has never tried a dessert waffle. Matthias asks her to bite and figure out what's in the chocolate. That's a never-ending lesson. Kate guesses there's a speculator in the chocolate, which is not commonly used in America. Matthias is impressed, and Kate explains that Susan's customers request it. They discuss stockings, and Matthias informs her that they put out shoes in Belgium. She wonders if he put them out this year, but Matthias hasn't decorated his place for Christmas. He has been busy with the store, so Kate offers to transform his flat. She works on the decorations with Ingrid, who feels it's very nice of Kate to help out. Kate feels Matthias has helped her a lot, so she wants to pay back. Ingrid explains that Matthias's family used to come to Belgium every year for Christmas in the summer. Christmas has always been special because Belgians like to go all out on their chocolate. His grandfather also knew chocolate like it was running through his veins. Matthias kept wanting to come back to learn more from him. He still stayed in the States for a long time to take care of his parents. He came back to his grandfather before it was too late, but it's tough to keep the store going for him now. Ingrid knows his school needs innovation, but Matthias is afraid to step on his grandfather's vision. Kate understands how hard it is to try something new when there is a safe way of doing things. Matthias comes to check on them with Peter and Annette. They could not believe he was decorating his place, so they wanted to check it out themselves. Annette has brought some of her favorite ornaments and gifts to Kate for helping him. They all start singing carols, but Matthias doesn't. He can't sing, so Kate promises not to make fun of him if he does. She's grateful he didn't make fun of her when she didn't know chocolate. He warms up and sings with her, but it's time for Peter and Annette to head back to work. Annette credits Kate for all the decorations. Matthias tries to get back to work, but Ingrid offers to take over so he can finish decorating. Ingrid also thanks Kate for bringing some Christmas cheer back to his home. It looks like he needs it. Matthias shows Kate an ornament his grandfather made. It's an exact replica of the first traditional Belgian praline he made. It signified to him that the family business would be in good hands. He remembers putting his shoes out for Christmas, so Kate suggests he should do it again. He brings 2 pairs back because he wants her to have one for Christmas too. He invites her over for Christmas Eve dinner with Ingrid if she's not doing anything else. He assures her she's not intruding and wants to thank her for decorating his place. He explains that he usually makes a chocolate log cake with rich chocolate icing for Christmas dessert. It's his favorite thing to make outside of actual chocolate. He always tastes out a praline recipe too, so Kate is more curious about this Belgian praline. He decides to teach her how to make one on the house and hands her an apron. He cooks at home too whenever inspiration strikes. He asks if she's testing new recipes, and Kate claims she's too busy at the shop to do it. It has been a while, which is why she's there to expand the chocolate line. She wonders if the Belgian pastry is anything like the American one. Matthias feels she will have to figure that out. He teaches her how to make it the old-fashioned way without a mold. He knows using a blender will be easier, but he wants them to look like they're homemade and authentic. He asks her to get a taste when they're done, but Kate is already on a sugar overload that weekend. He suggests they should go out for dinner so they can take a break from the sugar. Kate is nervous before her date since Matthias still thinks she's Susan. Kate feels like he doesn't even know the real her exists. Susan asks her to just wait till Christmas, after which she will explain the whole situation to him. His grandmother used to make mussels with wine and cream for every Christmas. His grandfather continued the tradition after that in her honor. Kate is excited to try it that night and remembers the Christmas ham her mom always makes. She invites him over for it if he's ever in the States. Kate realizes both their Christmas dinners are different, but they celebrate Christmas at the core of them. She feels he could use the high-quality ingredients of his store with elements like pecans and fudgy chocolate from American pralines. He loves the idea of making Belgian praline with elements of the American. Kate also feels he is lucky she knows how to make the American version. Since they are thinking of fusion, she suggests making different batches with milk and dark chocolate to see what works better. She asks him for ingredients and instructs him about how to make it. How the tables have turned. Kate guides him through the process and asks him to pour the praline on a sheet when the filling is ready. The first batch gets hard since he was fast enough, so they make the filling again. Once the pralines are done, they start the tasting. They feel the dark chocolate isn't sweet enough to capture the American praline. The milk chocolate one seems more like it, but just elevated. Matthias wants to make more batches to sell them in his shop for the Christmas season. He takes her permission, and they try to come up with a name for it. Trying to portray that the princess is from 2 places doesn't have the right ring. They decide to settle for a French name that has more to do with home. Matthew admits he wouldn't have done this without her. He asks her to get some sleep, but Kate wants to help him with the orders. Matthias is prepared for the new Christmas orders and likes that he got some leftover decorations for the shop. Kate reminds him people love Christmas, and he needs to show them he does too. They're both about to lean in, but decide to head to the shop when the board falls. Matthias asks Kate to rest. She refuses to leave when she can watch people enjoy the best Christmas chocolate in Brussels. Kate picks up a tray for samples. Matthias is sure she knows what she's doing since she runs a busy bakery. Kate keeps trying to offer samples, but it's not easy with Matthias staring at them. When he moves inside, people start warming up to Kate and head into the shop after trying the pralines. When Kate runs out of samples, Peter and Annette stop by to admire how busy the store is. They tease him about Kate, but Matthias seems sure she'll head home soon. Peter still feels Matthias hasn't smiled like that in a long time. Annette and Peter just ask him to not let a good thing get away. Kate brings the last 2 pieces of the praline to the house for them. Matthias also feels Kate stuck around to help him because of Peter's hot chocolate service. Annette really hopes to see more of Kate around. Kate feels Matthias is lucky to have such great friends away from home. Belgium is home for him now, and he knows he won't be able to leave the shop. Matthias is just impressed she was able to hand the shop to Michelle for so long. Kate gets awkward and decides to help Ingrid with restocking. She asks Matthias to remember that she's very happy for him. Ingrid is sure his grandfather would be proud since they had the busiest Christmas in years. His classes are booked up, which means he can save the school and the shop. Ingrid thanks Kate for saving them and feels like she will always be grateful to her. Kate insists life in New York is waiting for her, and she needs to expand her new chocolate line. Kate suggests Susan's shop import chocolate directly from Matthias. She feels it will cost just as much as hiring someone in New York. She claims she has some other owners to talk to, but is sure she can make this work. Matthias also gets excited by the idea of hiring new people to help with the classes and Ingrid with the store, if they can expand. Matthew is grateful and reminds Kate about the Christmas Eve dinner at his place the next day. Susan can tell Kate loves Belgium and chocolate making. She also knows it has more to do with math. Kate knows she can't fall for him because he thinks she is someone else. Now, that's complicated. Susan asks her to confess the truth to him since it seems like she cares for him. Kate wants to wait till she gets back to New York so no one gets hurt. She also praises Matthias as a chocolatier and asks Susan to consider importing chocolate directly from him. She offers to let Susan taste his stuff when she gets back. Ingrid asks Matthias to tell Kate how he feels about her. Matthias doesn't want to since she's leaving. Ingrid still doesn't think he should let her go so easily. Matthias decides to check out Susan's page online. He realizes Susan is someone else and that Kate is a photographer. Matthias asks Kate to meet him and admits he knows she is not Susan. He also knows from the bakery that Kate is just a friend and has never worked there. Kate admits she's not Susan, but clarifies that her first name and Susan's middle name are Catherine. Like that matters now. They bonded over this on their first day in pastry school. She explains how Susan couldn't make it to the classes, so she asked Kate to come instead. Kate admits she's a professional food photographer but doesn't love it. She started taking photos of other people's food in pastry school, and it became her job before she knew it. She misses being in the kitchen, which is why Susan asked her to come instead of her. Kate also admits she was going to tell him after she went back to New York. She thought it would only be a few classes, and didn't think so many things would change when she got there. Kate still wants to help him, but Matthias feels they should go their separate ways. He thinks a relationship has no foundation if there's no truth behind it. Kate can tell he is determined, so she promises to book a flight back soon. She thanks him and wishes the best for him and his school. Ingrid also knows about Kate from his internet search. Matthias feels betrayed about not knowing who she is. He thinks she's just a photographer who lies about making things look good for a living. Ingrid makes him realize he's being harsh. Ingrid also knows his grandfather left him this shop because he trusted Matthias to find his own way. She knows Kate might never come back if she leaves now. Peter and Annette drop by to give Matthias a present from Kate. They only know she's leaving for America after midnight, and she wants Matthias to have it. They also don't want to interfere, but make Matthias realize he hasn't been this happy in a very long time. Matthias reads out the letter from Kate, where she thanks him for making her a better chef. She also feels glad he helped bring back her love for confectionery. She assures him she learned a lot from him and asks him to try the pralines she made. He can already tell the flavor when he tastes it. She claims she was inspired to prepare these after their trip to the Christmas market, just like his grandfather was. Matthias informs Ingrid that he's heading out and hopes things go well. He finds Kate right when she's leaving. He admits it's the second best present after the first one she gave him by saving his school. He feels bad for judging her so quickly. He can tell that the way she makes phrases doesn't come from working with a teacher. He wants her in his school permanently because she brought back the Christmas spirit he lost. Matthias feels Kate is good for him, just when Kate also realizes photography will never compare to the real thing. She thanks Matthias for bringing out the Christmas spark in her. Kate decides to stay, so Matthew tries to kiss her. He gets interrupted by Susan's call, who clarifies that it was all her fault. Matthias assures Susan he worked everything out with Kate, so Susan has another good news. Susan asks Matthias to be the official chocolatier at her patisserie for imported Belgian chocolate. He agrees to do it if he can bring his new partner Kate along. Kate serves her handmade chocolates. Ingrid thanks her for saving their shop when she didn't have to. They toast to family and Christmas, and Matthias kisses Kate.